That's it then. It's all over. I despised my life growing up. Slums, vile places. I was cursed from birth. Born into poverty. Son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. Little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from the hellhole. I eventually became a communications officer. I admired your determination. But then you decided to try to sell government secrets. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, nightmares of my life and the slums awake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out. More money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. And one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded. You're a fiend with a queer challenge, so you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me, little plan now. I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing. For that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? I was a different man to the one in my memory. Thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him. Never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft. That's how I had him make the two discs, thereby splitting the information in two. We were taking considerable precautions indeed. So to protect myself as much as anything. meant that I could deal with McGilded in 2 separate transactions. The first involved the first of the 2 discs, the music box for playing them. Exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc. Yes. It sold the man information that went away of numbers. That way a number of times already. Seems he became reluctant to part with his money. That doesn't quite make sense, Graydon. But why was it that they were on the omnibus 2 months ago? Your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded and not yourself. I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded. I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realised something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. When he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore." That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, take the money from McGilded. That's it. I had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him. He never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge. Revenge! As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of man will no doubt be able to imagine. The man will no doubt be able to imagine. McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. So it's not my fault, right? Okay, never mind that. The crime scene was tampered with. Evidence was fixed. Witnesses were bribed. The trial 2 months ago was a farce from the start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then. I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. But Stronghold know about this. I made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then. So I spread nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. He twisted everything to his favour in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free. I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. The tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. Gilda's death that day was caused by this man. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. So the policeman who came to tell McGill he could examine the omnibus again. That's right, an imposter hired by me. McGilder used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilder inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. That wasn't the end of it for me. It was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded. Yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them. Oh, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, it's 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Winterbank's pawnbrokery. Aye, it is a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I deposited there for you. There's no need to give her name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. Put a jewel in pawn for you. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. Never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. So he knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Winterbanks that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns. Then he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion this girl would come out of the woodwork to the redemption deadline. I was absolutely right. Yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Winterbanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilda's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. I was unaware of that fact. Had it not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion. Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that McGilda was involved. Inspector, you're recovering fast. Their orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. So we started gathering the fella's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I'm sure the music box and the second disc were still there in the shop somewhere. So I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. Nash and Ringo were searching the counter. I located the music box I'd sold to McGilda on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. Then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? Gunshot rang out in the shop. I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. Struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge. Sorry tale. Place in the blink of an eye. Don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realised what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. That's the whole story. It's everything that happened at Winterbanks on that wretched night. Earlier, you called McGilda a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw, despise so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have. Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Winterbank and the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course. It then transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains, whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable. Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Yeah? It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir! Garrett Squadron standing by, sir! This is really it now! Last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts! Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's the stuff I'm a dog! Finally, Bruno, you managed to do it! Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world. Miss Lestrade, I'm not finished with you yet. Yeah, what are you looking at me like that for? Before you start enjoying your freedom, there's certain other crimes to consider, Yeah. 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilda's property, it seems. I never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing Mr. McGilda's coat in your cell yesterday or anything. Where did it even go? It was just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening. Oh. Turning our attention to the defense, determining that when played together, the music box discs contained a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. I'm very sorry about that, sir. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done, so... if I may say something on that point. Isn't that? It's, about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam? Oh, well, it's just I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes for me, in fact. Goodness, madam, an unhealthy level of obsession one feels. But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of two different tunes. What? What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. How many times do I have to tell you those distant in ministerial secrets, sunshine? This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. Oh, it's really going to bother me. Mr. Strayed. Yeah, my lord? Now, what you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, grim catalogue of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child. Come on, there ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums. I beg your pardon? If you're weak, you pay for it. It's just how life goes. Gina. Well, look, I reckon I worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are to yourself. Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Mr. Strayed never gracing my courtroom with her persons again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Bob Winterbank, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty of this particular crime. That is all. Court is adjourned. On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh! Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman. At the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether or not we're from the Empire of Great Britain, or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. No, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did. I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago. It reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew, and try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Oh, you may ask. One day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright then, I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Oh! Congratulations, Gina! I knew it all along! I knew that you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, now, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me. Right up to the end. Rizzo's your name. I told about it. I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Properly. It's awful. I figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums. Never trusted no one. That's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone, paid for it. Betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. When your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make that lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, pack it in! suppose I sort of feel the same way. Yeah. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, right? Thanks. This is the way I see it, Yunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. That comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, it's starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? That voice! It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo! I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity! Aha, yes, it was me all along, I would have said when you finally noticed me! You people with your incessant blabbing! Mr. Soames! Aha, yes, it was me all along, you see? You've came too, huh? I'd assumed you'd be taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again! Oh. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. Very above board. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat at you. Oh, thank you. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? Well, you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed. Some of us have been fighting for our lives, eh? Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but... well, have a feel! Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Soames? Could you... is it too much to ask? And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Mr. Lestrade. What's that supposed to mean? Why so have I, huh? Well, naturally it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Well done, Mr. Soames. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh, Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it? The very point I was trying to make. And it's exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilden, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Yeah, well, don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean, like God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. Some covs like that Bokchar were rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives as another. Well, I ain't like the McGilders of this world, so I ain't scared. I'll principal see. A trait in you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oi, just give it a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well, there you are, Hurley. How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there. Oh, Iris, my dear, I do apologise. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. What happened? As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. These dolts didn't notice my presence at all. I had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it? Not sure, really. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day. I'll be careful. Ouch. Anyway, it's such a shame. I was so hoping to throw a party for Jenny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm going to be going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's power. Got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter stuff, what was in lug, blah blah blah. I think that you'll find basically being a pickpocket is the main offence. It's not even an offence. It's a job, innit? Oh, I don't think so. Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Otto? No. I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something for all of them, like me for the slums. From the slums. Something that makes a difference for him. It's a wonderful idea, Ginny, and I'm sure you can do it. What is it? Nothing. Miss Gina Lestrade! The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once. Why, well, looks like I'm off then. Yes. Goodbye, Gina. And good luck. Otto? Yes? Oh, for old time's sake. Ah! What was that for? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Oh, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Eh? On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh, yes. It's got a voice, Ginny. Right, I see. Well... thanks. Although... Thank you for everything, what you've done. For believing in me. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, quite the indomitable pig purse. Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial is all over the front page. Pickpockets innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful? Should have shown it to Gina, Ira. She would have been thrilled. Oh no, how silly of me. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news? Not again. Well, what do you say, Bruno? Hurley? As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. There you have it. How people answer that question always says a lot about them, doesn't it? Let's not go there. Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. There's a record level of rainfall apparently. Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news? The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more. Dover? That's right, if we head to the station immediately. We may still make it in time to wave Susie off. But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Jones? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. Sole? It's no accident. The great detective does it again! Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport and director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary. Just an idea, but might it be wise to stop manipulating people that way? What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria? Yeah, well, would he be Sholmes without that questionable disposition of his, as the late Winterbank has told us? Also, yeah, it's kind of sad that he didn't actually have to die, and I think one of the brothers even said something to that effect. So, I wanted to say that earlier, but I didn't know when. So, shit! But may he rest in peace, hopefully. I don't know. Ew, That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated. Wait, when did the trial end? I didn't pay attention to the timestamp, whoops. Susie's phone must be about to leave now. Mr. Soto, where are you? Still here? Over there, look! looks like she's reading something. And really shitty lighting.
Hold it!
Mr. Sato, wait! What are you doing? Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here? We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Oh, I see. Tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news. The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was in your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it? Oh dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell. It was a goodbye to law. You, Susato-san. Would I be correct in assuming? It's because of the peephole, Miss Susato. I deliberately altered the scene of a crime. Then I tried to hide the fact. I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sharms had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that was so much fun! I saw Runo's armband! Yes, please do not do that again, Iris! The band's very important to me! Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it! You didn't notice for ages! On a whim, I thought it'd be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Really? You know it's British when there's like an infinite amount of space up there. Susato's infinite sleeves. She fits a book, and then now this thing. And then I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Winterbank's shop with it later that night. I see. And then leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! Why? After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. Doors started to play on my mind. Storm door, you mean? Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it would only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. Literally up her sleeve. I was so worried about Gina. I simply had to know. So, you used the cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door. It's captured in a photographic print of the shop by one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. Indeed, it was one of the first in importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. And when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier. The trial of Magnus McGilded. I thought about how he manipulated the evidence and raised false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. A terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank. Even though I was sure she would have never done such a thing. We were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime. That's right. Then I realized. Very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case. What do you mean? The crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. If someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have been a way to see beyond the door. For which, people would be the very thing. People I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? Trap? Is that why she did it? So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the people to anyone. Not even to the police. I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offence even. So I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a going-on, with no other possible means of escape. The truth about the people could save him. That was my plan. She really does think of everything. Well then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? Oh, dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crime scene. So Mr. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, Miss Lestrade's. Mr. Sato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I lost a little bit of my faith in the law. I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of crime. The moment I allowed myself to think that, it's the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant. She did, as incomparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that people as a way to implicate Gina. Besides, the people inconsistency hadn't existed. I'm not at all sure she would have been acquitted in the end. Sato, you did save Gina's life. Oh, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too from my regrets. Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured. Not really, but... yeah. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure. But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll be trying to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Oh, actually, the argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. It wasn't. There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see. A telegraph operator. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret and government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. Cipher? I see. So then, I could have never hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow, it's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. So... What? That can't be a real word, can it? How funny. Wait! Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said Asahi. Does that word mean something to you? Mean something? Asogi was the name of my best friend! What? How? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before, and the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius. I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whenever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Why the f do you know this? I mean, handy, but like, why? Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages. I don't believe it! Are you saying? That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. Of course, a photographic memory chart. Give it to me! I think it's based on the Iroha pentagram, isn't it? You meant to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asogi. Yes, I think so. Sorry, I don't remember all the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version? What? Better answer than me! Iris, show me the message, please! Of course! What can this possibly mean? Whatever it is in that long sequence of supposed meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from Susato-san's face. There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code. So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications. I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. 4 names. The first is Kei Asogi. It doesn't have to be Cosmo, right? Like, it could be Kenji. Or like Kennosuke, or like some other name that starts with K, right? It doesn't even have to be a dude. Why? Anyway, why would his name be on that disc? Silly. Anyway, second is Shin. Shin. I don't recognize that name. Shin. The third is T. Gregson. Gregson! It would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list. What's his name doing in a secret government communication as well? What's going on here? The last name? What's the matter, Mr. Sato? It's so strange. So unexpected. What is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense! Last name is J. Wilson. I like how Gregson's written in like Romaji, but then this is just Wilson. I guess they didn't really think about it. Because it was Watson in the original version. But then they changed it to Wilson, and I guess they didn't really think about how to make it sound Japanese. But anyway, I'm going off the rails. Wiru-son. Wilson. John H. Wilson. I mean, Daddy! It says on a J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the full names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all four. That's the end of the message. Rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris. I can't believe... Who would have ever thought? Those discs contain Japanese Morse code. Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. So, Daddy could be in Japan then, where Susie and Bruno come from. Oh, well... No. It's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be a lot of J's among them. Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. I can't tell Iris about that now. I just can't. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Winterbank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. I do wonder. Perhaps it's a dark cave we shouldn't go wandering inside. Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon. Yes, it seems so. Sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change on a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie? Wish you a safe passage, Mr. Sato. Thank you so much. I wish you all of you the very best. Mr. Sato! I had hoped to have you always on my side, to guide me and support me. Mr. Naruhodo! Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world! Sure. I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. Promise? About your manuscript. Oh. Yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles. I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? Do you remember the first time we met? Yeah, the first case, right? Bit earlier than that, Yunosuke, on the SS Burial when I was dragged out from that wardrobe, still half asleep, and you like threw me around everywhere. Oh, damn. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown. You know very well what I'm talking about. After that, it's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, somehow felt straight away. Is this a porthole? Okay, whatever. Minor details, I guess not we're only human. That you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy. Mr. Sato. My instincts were right. I really want to believe. I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey. Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Oh, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently. What? It caused such a commotion on the line, all the other trains had to wait at stations. But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow, according to Miss Susato. You love defending yourself in court. It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. You really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See? Mr. Sholmes. Yes? A word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow. Oh, yes, I love Bruno's words, and I know just the one he'll use here. Then, I really must say, objection! Dang, I'm like... Woo! Yay! Cool. Never thought I'd get to this part so soon. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot. It transpired I had ordered them all myself. So I advertised them with the stale used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And the money I've earned, consulting detective worth pays a pittance by comparison. Ah, you capitalists. My favourite himbo, once more. A very huge handful. I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Oh, cooks is an overstatement for some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and a lovely Japanese breakfast. Oh my gosh. Witness! Your testimony is riddled with contradictions. Exactly! Rarely do rare Corbon coins hide under rare stakes themselves. Oh, the trial of Yasun Lawson. Oh, I don't know, son knows his father is an innocent man. Why are you calling my son a lawyer? Witness says, my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments. Here's the defense here. Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. And last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national. I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give Walker High's offspring refuge in my pocket! I bring men some jitters on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal! It's not fair! Oh, I did it! I must see them! Oh, but you couldn't bring Walker High! Oh! Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline, like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. The latest Rance magazine is out, and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Huh. Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Ah, her ladyship puts me to shame. Back to work already, are we? Interesting. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Johnny, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stairs every day has done wonders for the dicky pig. Managed it rather well with the housework, too. Got this maid business taped up, I'd say. Hope the gossiping neighbours don't realise the man of the house is his own maid. If you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. I salute you, sir. Those missiles! Okay, never mind. Oh! Rolly is back on the beat again! All thanks to the beat! There's nothing I enjoy more than these days than finding out small changes in cover. I'm a better Bobby now, looking out for the Londoners, job happenings, and my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. And happily ever after for you two, Cole. Oh, looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. And Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She always going on about them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get to him. Oh! Yes, everyone else while bringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. Regrets? Please. Give it over, bruv, ain't the Ash we used to know. We got Simon to play the comeback of Milverton and Skulkin's Milk Run, right? The three Muskewotsits! Milk in the neighbourhood for all it's worth! Oh my god, they're all dancing, it's so cute. Oh my god. I hope you can find some solace after all that drama. I mean, a bit crass to call it drama, but like... This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes, wonderful encounters. Come to realize that's what life is about. And also, I promise, your sister will return to you one day. For now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Oh, family photo. Wait, where's Mod 6? Okay, whatever. Ah, yes. Walk along our journey. Consider this a recap before the second game. Because this totally wasn't a setup for a sequel. Alrighty. Oh shoot, I'm not really good at improv. What do I say? Oh god. Oh yeah, what happened to her? We didn't see her in the thing either. Yeah, I hope you're alright, dude. Sir, I mean... Russians. Well, yeah, I can only really hope that everything went fine. Like, they can move on, learn from the events. Truly was a wasteful, departure. Alas, the death flags. Karuma teleported. Oh, what? So, yeah, we never saw these guys again either, these witnesses. I mean, we saw Fair Play as a juror. The middle guy we never saw. And the driver was complicit in something, what the heck? I want answers. I think McGilda's arc is over, I guess. Yeah, sorry this was more of a glorified audiobook, but like, I'm just not really good at commentary, and plus I do know what happens in these games. This is my third time playing it, so like, I can't really say too much because I might be prone to spoiling something, so I'm being very careful here, which is why I'm not talking so much. I actually didn't like these two the first time, but I think they're cute. Kind of, like, especially Rolly, like, it was really sad. His date got ruined. Oh yeah, Natsume, he's a real person, but I actually thought he was a reference to a series called Natsume Yujincho, because like, Wagahai looks like the cat in that one, or like the yokai in that one, Nyanko Sensei, so I was like, oh my god, it's a Natsume Yujincho reference, but no, it wasn't. It was a reference, but not to what I thought it was, so I was a bit disappointed, but Von Zeeks. Yeah, you lie on, yeah? Just don't do anything stupid again. Yeah. Alright. Coming to the end of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Unless they're gonna walk forever, which I don't mind. That's cool too. Oh, okay, no. And we're ending. Pose! Woo! Well, that's the end.